Welcome. This video is an update and a celebrity watch and a couple of notifications on just a really short chit chat. So first things first, the August horoscope will be delayed by about a week, so look for it the second week of August, not the first. I apologize, it's been a little hectic. The second, in the meantime, I wanted to give you guys something to watch out for, separate from the horoscope, so we can keep everything separated and organized. This is going to be an interesting month because as far as our celebrity watch goes, we've got not one, not two, but three people we want to keep an eye on, or three celebrity watches we want to keep an eye on that's going to be very active this month. So the first thing I'm going to start with is going to be Britney Spears. She should be having some very important activity occurring this month. So not really sure what that is. Haven't had a chance to get into her chart. I will, I promise. Just bear with me. But I do know that this is an important active month for her. So let's see what shakes out of the tree from Ms. Britney. And this is above and beyond her deciding who her next conservator is instead of her father, or maybe the new conservator is the active activity that we're seeing, right? Because if, and this is a big if she selects a conservator, under the aspects this particular month, this conservator is not necessarily going to last, and two, this conservator literally may represent jumping from the frying pan into the fire. So Britney's got a whole boatload of issues happening all simultaneously, and that's a whole discussion by itself. But for now, suffice it to say, this is an important month for her. So let's see what happens. Now, the next one, of course, is Miss Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor. I think I've got all the names. And we may actually finally see her first public appearance about mid-month. So she's getting some chart activation. It's not bad chart activation. It's actually pretty good. So there's nothing stressful there, which we're okay with. And unless I am mistaken, no one has seen hide nor hair of this child since she has been born. So I'm looking at sometime around the 15th, I believe. And it's in the child natal astrology using Lilibet's chart. The actual specific date isn't there, but I believe it's around the 15th that we should see something or hear something significant about Miss Lilibet. And my first impression is that we're going to see her first public appearance. But who knows? We'll see. And the third, that's one, that's two, the third celebrity watch you want to keep an eye on. This one's kind of interesting, only because it's so silly. And that is Bennifer and A-Rod, the great love triangle that everyone's taking sides for. Team Bennifer, Team A-Rod. So here's the thing. Bennifer, Jennifer, and Ben are both taking major activity this month where their relationship is concerned. Because her Venus and his Saturn are both around 19 Gemini. They took the eclipse to 19 Gemini. There's a lot of stuff happening here. I'm not completely comfortable with it because while the eclipse on her Venus is certainly doing exactly what we expect, and this is the whole big dramatic silly high school love triangle that's happening with A-Rod, and we're gonna have a conversation about him in a minute. The challenge that I have with this, the real reservation that I have with this, is that this eclipse is on Ben's Saturn, which is a very sensitive, insecure point. So and we said this earlier, it would be very easy and likely that all of Ben's deepest insecurities and wounds are going to get, those buttons are going to get pushed and brought to the surface. And this may be what's happening. Now, I just saw in like a random news that apparently, because Jennifer's celebrating her birthday out in Italy and France, and Ben's taking her, on this cruise and whatever. God, it must be nice to be rich. Oh, darling, is it your birthday? Please, let me take you to Europe on my yacht. And it just came up in the news today, excuse me, that A-Rod, who's also celebrating a birthday right now, has decided that he's going to celebrate his birthday out in the very same places they are. Now, a couple of things with this. When you have that much money and you have yachts, there's only a couple places in Europe you can go anyway, right? Because it's kind of like the thing, like everybody here goes to Martha's Vineyard, or wherever. Like there are specific places the ultra rich all kind of hang out. So it's not unthinkable that if he was going to go on his yacht, to Europe, that he would end up in the same places. the horrible torment of being ultra rich. The other thing is that apparently it almost looked like a game of cat and mouse. So the thing about, and I'm going to do Jennifer and A-Rod's chart next. But the thing to understand about A-Rod, even without looking at his charts, he's a professional sports person. He's a professional athlete, which means that not only is this man competitive, he's got a little bit of the devil in him, right? And honey, he's Dominican. Please, like that, please. So the thing about it is, I really think that A-Rod has been deliberately kind of, poking the bear, and also too, he's making it a point to be in her face to remind her of what she's lost. So because remember, there's a lot more we don't know. We only get what the press release gives us. And in A-Rod's mind, because he's a competitor, I am a competitor, that he's absolutely going to show, Ms. Jennifer, like, yeah, you may have him, honey, but you could be with me, right? Because you can't be a super professional athlete without thinking really highly of yourself. It's just impossible. People with low self-esteem do not become celebrated athletes. It does happen. Now, the other thing I want to point out, and don't you boo me, all you people who are like standing for Bennifer, don't you boo me. One of the things that people are not talking about in these tablets, well, they're interested in, is getting eyeballs on their papers, right? So Jennifer and Alexander own businesses together. What this means is that even if Jennifer wanted to, she can't just cut Alexander off, to make Ben feel better. Well, she can't just stop talking to him because Ben, I own businesses with Ben. I have to have some conversations with him. And here's the thing. If this woman had been having communications with Ben the entire time she was with A-Rod and A-Rod didn't know about it, it's not unthinkable that she's still having communications with A-Rod, separate from business issues. And she may be goading him, or like irritating him enough, or giving him enough of an opening that he's like, oh, now I'm really going to mess with you. So, yes, it does look like a big game out here, but honestly, it's not because A-Rod needs attention. A-Rod gets plenty of attention. Have you seen this man? Oh my God, he's getting plenty of attention. He's not thirsty. He gets plenty of attention. I really think that this is A-Rod getting signals and openings to mess with these two, and specifically kind of poke Ben, because Ben went through this before with what's his face. Oh God, I'm so bad with names. I'm so sorry. Hang on a second. Sean Combs, P. Diddy, right? So there was a whole thing with P. Diddy and Ben around that time as well. And now it's Alexander. Ben, just poor guy. This poor guy. So the thing about it is, the other thing I want you to consider, right, is if this is the case, if A-Rod has been skulking around and making phone calls and basically making a nuisance of himself just to make a nuisance of himself, like showing up at Martha's Vineyard when they're there, sort of stuff, almost looking like a stalker. So the thing about it is, if it were me, and obviously it's not, because I'm certainly not dating, professional baseball players and, multi-millionaire actors. But if it were me, and probably anybody else, right? One of the things that would be happening is I certainly would not, I would not take ownership of this man's behavior. I mean, I have nothing to do with this. I don't know why he's here. I don't know why he's following me. He just can't get over me. I'm just, what am I supposed to do? So of course, Ben, with that Saturn and Scorpio, right, will try very hard to be the champion and the crusader. And it's going to do what he thinks that a man should do, and that's step up to try and protect his woman. What is wrong with this guy? Why won't he leave you alone? Which may be some of the fuel that's been driving this really rush towards getting super committed really fast. Like, this is crazy fast, right? Like crazy fast. So the thing about it is, Ben may be doing this as a reaction to A-Rod's presence, and A-Rod's presence may be a reaction to conversations and communications he's having with Jennifer that Ben doesn't actually understand the entire scope of, because you can say a lot without saying anything at all. So there's a lot more going on here than meets the eye. I have concerns that Ben's going to get really hurt at the end of this, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But in the meantime, A-Rod is definitely messing with him, and I'm telling you, I think this is because Jennifer is helping to keep this cauldron broiling. She's helping to keep this love triangle going. Because it's not for me. That's too much stress for me. But there are some people out there, men and women, that love being in the center of all that sort of stuff. They love having a three-ring circus around them, especially when it's people fighting over them. So it's not impossible. It's not impossible. In any event, all of that is to say, keep an eye on Bennifer this month. So something serious or significant should go down. And it hits A-Rod, but only in terms of a minor annoyance. So this may be, if it annoys him, right? This may be those two making even more of a big display, because there's a whole lot of love bombing going on with these two. Like, this is over the top love bombing. It's not normal. It's not normal. And I'm sure a lot of it is playing up to the press, right? It's, a lot of it's just playing up to the press and making a big public display of stuff because they want this to be a public display, trying to make a point here. But there may be some evolution or attempt to go to the next level with these two, which will absolutely irritate A-Rod to no end. So, or there may be a conflict between Ben and A-Rod coming up this month. I don't know. So let's keep an eye on that. And let's see what happens. Now, for those of you who watch politics, just really briefly, we know that the January 6th hearings occurred. They started. And this is going to be huge, huge. I can't tell you how happy I am that we are finally tearing away the last of the filthy veils that are hiding, the bare truth. And for those of you who did not see the testimony of the Capitol police officers, I strongly recommend that you watch this. It was gut-wrenching, and it's important. It's so important. Jesus. So we are getting there. The goddess has risen, and the time of reckoning has begun, and we are getting there. Everything from the fight to maintain our democracy here and keep those religious wackadoodles out of our government and out of our laws. Sorry, my phone. All the way to, the Olympic teams, the female Olympic team saying, I'm not wearing lingerie to play sports anymore, damn it. I'm wearing a proper leotard or unitard so I can actually do my sport without thinking about, accidentally exposing myself. This has just been a really good month, even though it may not seem like that in some ways. Compared to what the options are, we could be in much worse places. So we're making progress. Progress is always messy. All right. So, Celebrity Watch. Watch for some major turning point for Britney Spears this month. If she does get a new conservator appointed this month, keep an eye on that, because this may not pan out the way everyone's expecting, and I don't necessarily think it's going to be better. I think this may actually be worse. What is it? From the frying pan right into the fire. Also, Miss Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor should be, if I got this right, she should be making a public appearance this month, which will be nice. But either way, we should be hearing something about her, which is good too, because we haven't heard anything for a while now. So there's that. And also Bennifer and the Eternal High School Love Triangle. So watch for this to come to some type of turning point or fever pitch this month, to the delight of Jen and Ben and the irritation of A-Rod. And don't you kid yourself, A-Rod's not stalking her. A-Rod's messing with her and Ben, like Sean Coombs messed with Ben when he was involved with Jennifer, because he just attracts that from people. That's Saturn the Scorpion man. You attract challengers from every corner. And also too, she is creating some of this. She is inviting this, and don't think for a minute that she's not communicating verbally or non-verbally, signaling openings for A-Rod to kind of jump in and continue messing around like, classic boy. All right, so that's it. I will see you guys in a couple of weeks. Hang in there. And remember the length and time it takes for a commercial. Focus. Use your mind to manifest something better, and focus. Sending love and healing and calm and positive, peaceful feelings to someone somewhere in this world. The length of a commercial break. Because it makes a difference. It makes a difference. I have been doing it. I have not been as frequent with it as I'd like to be, but I have been doing it, and I have found that it really does make a difference, at least in terms of me and my mental health, and also some serendipitous things that have been popping up here and there. So I'm going to be more active with that, and I encourage you to be as well, because if you believe that your mind creates reality, that you can manifest whatever you want by visualizing it, then put your money where your mouth is, and let's keep this going. All right, see you guys later.